Good afternoon and welcome here to Winterholder Field here on the campus of Taylor University for this afternoon's winners bracket matchup between the Marian Knights, the 5th seed here in the Crossroads League tournament, and the Taylor University Trojans, the 2nd seed here in the Crossroads League tournament this season. Taylor advanced here after a 4-2 win over Huntington on Saturday in 12 innings. Tanner Watson was the hero. He, in the top of the 12th, had a 2 RBI single with the bases full. Rob Fox picked up the win. He went 4 innings, the longest outing of his career. Loudest outing of his career. Picked up the win to move to 2-1 on the year. Marian, a high-powered offense on Saturday against St. Francis. They won 12-9 to move to 22-24 on the year. They're led by 5th-year head coach Todd Bacon. Our umpiring crew today, home plate is Steve Albritton, first base is Nick Yeoman, and the third base is Ken Sothman. Let's hear now from the head coach of the Taylor Trojans, Kyle Gould, as we had a chance to catch up with the boss before the game today and also take a look back at Saturday's exciting win here at Winterholder Field. Before Marian in 3-2. Welcome back to the Marian General Hospital pregame show. Time to catch up with the head coach of the Taylor baseball team, Kyle Gould, before they take on Marian here this afternoon with a spot in tomorrow night's championship game on the line. Kyle, let's go back to Saturday. Your 4-2 win over Huntington. Tanner Watson gets the big hit there in the top of the 12th. Rob Fox shows a career-high 4 innings. What did you take away most from your team's performance on Saturday in extras?
Well, it was just good to get to win a tight one. You know, we won a lot of tight ones earlier, and in conference we seemed to drop some of the close ones. So to have to hang in there in extra innings, and you know, because of the way the tournament works, we were the visiting team on the scoreboard, so we had to hold them, try to score, hold them, and so that was probably the thing I took away the most.
I learned yesterday that Tanner Watson had to have his batting gloves sewn up Friday night by Jody Martinez's wife Sonia. So a good hire on your part to have bring Jody and have Sonia and her sewing skills here in Upland, right?
When word gets out, you may see a lot of guys swinging by the Martinez house.
When you guys throw Clay Riggenstein here against Marian, very different weather conditions down there in Indianapolis a few weeks ago with 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing in. How do you try to combat some good pitchers from Marian here this afternoon?
Well, they're good. I mean, they're a conference finish. I mean, they were 5th in the conference. They had some really good non-conference wins. You'll see them. They're big. They're physical. They're a very, very good offensive team. The kid on the mound is as competitive of a kid as you'll see in this conference, and so we're going to have our hands full. This will be the toughest game of the tournament, and they'll come at us with everything they have.
Good luck and good pitching, Kyle.
Yeah. Thanks, Rick.
All right. The star on the mound today for the Trojans is the junior right-hander, number 5, Clay Riggins. He's a 5'11", 180-pound right-handed man out of Bloomington, Indiana. He comes in with a perfect 7-0 record, a 2.28 ERA, in 59 1/3 innings tossed this season. He has 44 strikeouts to just 15 walks. He's allowed 20 runs on the year, 15 earned, and he's starting his 9th game of the year. Against Marian this season, Clay was 0 for 1 in his only start, went 5 2/3, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He had 4 Ks and 2 walks. Ironically enough, the Trojans lost that 3-game series with Marian, won the opener, and then lost the last 2. They had leads late in both of those 2nd and 3rd games before having the leads evaporate late. And ironically enough, each team scored 7 runs against the other team in those 3 contests. The defense behind Clay this afternoon: Wyatt Whitman in left, Sam Weiss in center, Jared Atkins is in right, Brett Lawson is at 3rd, Josh Lane is at short, Tanner Colby is at 2nd, Nathan Taggart at 1st, and Tanner Watson. This year's Gates Award recipient, which was given out earlier today. We'll talk about that as the day rolls on. Leo Lopez, the 6-foot junior from Frankfort, Indiana, will lead it off for the Knights. He'll be followed by the pitcher, Zach St. Pierre, and the 3rd baseman, Cody Earl, who has been the hottest bat here in the Crossroads League tournament this season. The winner will get to advance to tomorrow night's Crossroads League championship game. The loser will play tomorrow at 3 o'clock. One more game tonight coming up at 8 p.m. It'll be Indiana Wesleyan against Huntington, as both teams won earlier today. Riggins ready to rock and roll. And that one grounded to the left side, right to Lawson on the opening pitch. He takes his time. He fires it across to Taggart. And we have 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. So we'll go into more depth about Leo Lopez and his season the next time he comes up. That'll bring up the lefty pitcher, Zach St. Pierre, 6'1" senior from Noblesville, Indiana, and Noblesville High School. St. Pierre batting .305 this season, 43 hits and 12 doubles. And the righty Riggins comes inside for a called strike. Taylor, a team record 43 wins this season, 43-12, with 8 one-run losses, 6 of those coming against league foes. Riggins will miss upstairs, and the count evens up at 1-1. St. Pierre 2 for 5 with a double and 3 runs batted in that win on Saturday. Riggins comes on the inside half of the plate. And now he falls behind 2 balls and a strike. Beautiful day here in Upland, Indiana. Temperature in the low 70s. Not a cloud to speak of overhead. And the fans have turned out here in full force here this afternoon. That one sent Wyatt Whitman's way and left. He backs up and reaches up and makes the catch above his head for out number 2. Two up, 2 down. Marian 2-0 in neutral site games this year. They're 13-20 away from home. Taylor overall 27-2 here at Winterholder Field this season. Nobody on, 2 outs, top of the first, no score for the third baseman, Cody Earl. And Riggins' curveball misses high for ball 1. Riggins has increased his velocity by 5 miles per hour from a season ago. Second one outside the zone as well, 2-0. Has a really good feel for pitching in his blood, dating back to his uncle. The 2-0, and Earl will foul tip this one off of the catcher, Tanner Watson. Clay's uncle was the pitching coach for the Cincinnati Reds in their 2016 season. He's now working with the Dunedin Blue Jays, which is where former Taylor stud pitcher Josh DeGraff has been calling home for the last 2 seasons. Josh, a former 3-time Crossroads League Pitcher of the Year. The 2-1 from Riggins, and the fastball up high. And he falls behind 3-1 to the third batter of the inning, Cody Earl, with nobody on and 2 outs here in our first inning here this afternoon. 5th pitch. That'll cut back in on the cut fastball from the righty Riggins, and now the count full. Much like we saw from Barkas on Saturday, Riggins not afraid to work quickly. And here he goes on the payoff pitch to Earl. High and away, and a 2-out walk as Riggins a little bit beside himself as that pitch misses the zone. First base runner of the afternoon here for Marian, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, the catcher, Evan Hickman. Hickman, a 6'1" junior from New Palestine, Indiana, and New Palestine High School. Bats left, throws right. He's got the curly blonde hair sticking out underneath that white and blue batting helmet. Marian with the white pants, blue jerseys, white numbers, and white letters. First pitch from Riggins to the inside corner for a called strike as the lefty Hickman crowds that inside part of the plate. Taylor going with the all-gray uniforms and pants for the first time here in the Crossroads League tournament. Taylor in purple across the front, purple numbers on the front and back as well. Second one to Hickman, and he'll foul this one away to our left, falling behind 0-2. Taylor's caps, gray up top with the purple bill, the purple TU interlocking block on the front. 2 outs, 2 strikes to Evan Hickman, the catcher, with Cody Earl standing over at first after a 2-out walk. The pitch home, that one 2 balls to the outside part of the plate, and it makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hickman batting .320 this season, 48 hits, 10 doubles, and a pair of home runs. Riggins out of the stretch, head nods twice, the 1-2 home. And scooting back out of the way is Hickman to avoid getting hit by the fastball, and the count levels up at 2-2. Fifth-year head coach Todd Bacon, the man over there coaching first. You can hear him clapping encouragement to Hickman in the background. Third base side of the bump is where Riggins will deal from, and in front of the breaking ball is Hickman, and that one will go foul. Hickman went 4 for 9. Has gone 4 for 9 here in the tournament so far with 4 runs batted in. As he waits another 2-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat. Riggins kicks and drives. This one lined right to Colby at second. He makes the catch for out number 3. So a 2-out walk. No damage done for Marian, and Taylor will come up to bat. for the first time when we come back from this commercial break. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com. It'll be the lefty Zach St. Pierre on the mound today for Marian, making his first start in a very long time. The last time he was on the hill for the Knights was back when they played Goshen a couple of weeks ago. He's a 6'1 senior left-hander, as we mentioned, out of Noblesville, Indiana. St. Pierre, a 1-0 record, appearing in just his 6th game on the hill, his 3rd as a starter. In 17 innings thrown this year, 23 hits, 16 runs, all have been earned, and he has a 2-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio at 20-10. Leadoff man for the Trojans, the traditional one, number 11, Wyatt Whitman, the left fielder. And the first one from St. Pierre called a ball from home plate umpire Steve Albritton. Wyatt had a day to forget on Saturday, going 0 for 5 with 4 Ks. He'll swing and miss here. And the count evens at 1-1. Wyatt down on strikes. A lot of curveballs gave him fits on Saturday against DJ Moore. For Huntington, Moore threw close to 140 pitches in 9 innings against the Trojans on Saturday. Third one outside the zone. As Wyatt leads off the bottom of the first, he'll miss a curveball here, and the count squares 2-2. Wyatt batting .327 this season. He's the one of only 2 Trojans with over 200 at-bats this year. And the 2-2 will miss outside. St. Pierre thought that one was good enough for strike 3. And so the count now goes full to one of the most dangerous base runners for TU in left fielder Wyatt Whitman. Payoff pitch from St. Pierre, down the middle, and Whitman stays alive. Fouling this one to the parking lot as everyone's cars who are parked over there, their hands crane and spin, looking to see if their car is damaged. We did have one car today get bounced up with a foul ball. The car alarm went off at about 10:30 this morning. That's a good way to start your Monday. And Whitman down on strikes, 5th strikeout in the last 2 games for 11 and Gray. And I'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Lane. Taylor in the visiting dugout here this afternoon, even though they are the home team. So they're on the first base side of Winter Holder Field. Marian over there on the first base side. One out, bottom of the first, no score for the shortstop, Josh Lane. And St. Pierre will miss away for a ball. St. Pierre did not see the hill against Taylor in the 3 games earlier this year. Second one. That one too high, 2-0. Josh 2 for 5 on Saturday in the win over Huntington. 2 runs scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Third one will find the zone from St. Pierre to make it 2-1. Josh was the 4th run to come across for the Trojans, the 2nd one in that game-winning hit for Tanner Watson at the top of the 12th. And the 4th one will miss low, 3-1. Josh's mom and dad made the trip up from Fort Lauderdale, though they are down to our right. The 3-1. And that one away, and Josh Lane on for the Trojans. A 1-out walk for 3 and Gray.
Now batting first baseman Nathan Taggart.
So a runner on for the first baseman Nathan Taggart, an All-American a year ago. He'll swing and miss and fall behind 0-1. A chance to read the game recap from Chuck Landis in the Chronicle Tribune, and a good quote there from head coach Kyle Gould talking about how they switched the approach late in that 12th inning when Nathan got up. Was such a good bat that Nathan has. They talked about, really taking your pitches and kind of finding a zone where you wanted it, and that allowed Nathan to get on and help the Trojans load the base there in the 12th to set up the heroics for Watson. Count 1-1 here. St. Pierre deals, and that one lined up into the netting as Taggart falls behind 1-2. Nathan, the only Trojan batting over 400 this season at .407. Team best 81 hits, 19 doubles, 6 home runs, and a team best 63 runs batted in. He's got 2 home runs already here in the series, both coming in that first game against Mount Vernon Nazarene on Friday. They check on Lane over at first. St. Pierre, the lefty, out of the stretch, deals the 1-2 home. That one almost ended up in the left ear hole of Nathan Taggart's purple batting helmet. And the count squares at 2-2. Defense behind St. Pierre today, Carson Davis in left, Henry Fisher in center, Mike Underwood is in right. 2-2. Ground ball to the right side, might be able to turn 2. Vogel will underhand to the shortstop, over to first, and they will get Taggart out. And so another inning-ending double play here for the Trojans. They into 4 of those on Saturday against Huntington, and that's what helped that game go extras. The Trojans unable to do anything with a 1-out walk here to Josh Lane. We head to the second with no score here on the board. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
We've played one here from Winterholder Field, and it'll be Maverick Bacon, the first baseman, stepping in to lead it off. He'll be followed by Carson Davis, the left fielder, and the second baseman, Tyler Vogel. No score as we start the top of 2, and the curveball from Riggins will miss away for ball 1. Bacon Jr. from Wingate, Indiana, North Montgomery High School. Second one from the quick-working Riggins is fouled into the direction of the Taylor dugout. It'll bounce out and ricochet away. 1-1. Bacon's former team, the Ball State baseball team, has made their way up here. They swept Ohio University this weekend. A couple comeback victories for Richard Maloney's ball club. They went up to Ivanhoe's as a treat. Ground ball to Colby at second, knocks it down, picks it up with a bare hand over to first, and Bacon will be safe. That was a late hopper into the stomach of Colby. He picked it up in the air with his bare right hand, and Bacon able to beat the throw out over to first, and the leadoff man on here for Marian. A fielding error charged to Colby at second. So the Cardinals got a little Ivanhoe's for the sweep over the Bobcats, and they're here watching now their former teammate stand over there at first, and now they make their way right back to the bus to go back to study. Actually, they wouldn't be studying because graduation is on Saturday, so they're going to go back and do something. Pitch to Davis, right at the knees, and that's taken for a strike. Coach Maloney's wife, Kelly, one of our highly skilled administrative assistants here in the athletic department. She keeps all of us in line, and when I say all of us, I mean me. A strike to the left fielder, Carson Davis, with the leadoff man, Bacon, at first. He will swing and miss at a curveball, and now it's 0-2. Davis, the 6'3 junior from Attica, Indiana. Bats right and throws right, clocks in at 237 pounds. Davis, a .344 average, 53 hits, 15 for extra bases, including 4 home runs, and 32 runs batted in. He's behind 0-2 here. Just gets the end of the bat on the cutting fastball from Riggins. It remains 0-2. No score. Bacon stands at first after the fielding error from Colby at second base. Winner plays in tomorrow night's 6 o'clock championship game against the winner of tomorrow's 3 o'clock contest. The loser of that game will play in 3 o'clock tomorrow. Another 0-2. Off the end of the bat, just past the sprinting lane at short. That'll bounce in for the first hit of the day for the Knights, and their first 2 men on here in the top of the second for the second baseman, Tyler Vogel.
How about second baseman Tyler Vogel?
A 2-out walk, the only man that got on there in the top of the first, and then the next batter lined out softly to Colby to end the top half of the first. But a fielding error and a single to left for the first 2 men on. And a bunt is shown, squared up, first base side. Miscommunication, Taggart gets it. Throw was not in time as it pulled Colby off the bag. First base umpire Nick Yeoman says that the man is safe. That brings Kyle Gould, the head coach of the Trojans, jogging out of the Taylor dugout to our right. But right now the bases remain full. A miscommunication between Riggins and Taggart charging up that first base line. Both stopped at the same moment. And Taggart picked it up and sent it over to first. And so now Yeoman will come down and talk with home plate umpire Steve Albritton. And they'll discuss. We did see a call get overturned when the softball tournament was here at Taylor University a couple of weeks ago. And the discussion has come to a close, and they'll say that Vogel is safe at first. And now Riggins and Lane both pointing to third base umpire Ken Sothman, wanting Yeoman to go over and have a chat with Sothman. Yeoman's left hand is up, talking with Kyle Gould, who is really upset right now. Both Riggins and Lane at the same time both pointed, wanting their coach to appeal. And as he tried to, he was told to go back to his own dugout. So an infield single here for Vogel as the base is full for Marian. For the right fielder, lefty Mike Underwood. For the first time today, we hear the Marian dugout getting behind their squad. They're again situated to our left. Cut fastball to the outside half, taken the whole way by the lefty Underwood. So it's Bacon at third after the fielding error, then back-to-back singles from Davis and Vogel. They stand at second and first base, respectively. No score, base is full, nobody out, top of the second inning. Riggins out of the windup, 1 strike already in. Ground ball back up the middle. Lane will charge. They get the only out he can over at first, and Marian takes a 1-0 lead on the ground out by Mike Underwood. Runners remain at second and third, but a 1-0 lead right now for the Knights with 1 out in the top of the second inning.
How about center fielder Henry Fisher?
A slow roller out there just to the left side of the mound. And Lane made the only play that he could. 1 gone. The number 9 batter, Henry Fisher, their center fielder today. Squares up the bunt, right back up. Too close to the mound to make a play. Riggins fires a bullet down to first. And a very slow motion out call by our first base umpire, Nick Yeoman, but it still counts either way. 2 outs, the men still at second and third. And we go back to the top of the order in Leo Lopez. The man at third, Carson Davis, took a couple steps after the ball hit the bat, but it rolled, just maybe 5 feet in front of home plate. So he made the wise decision to stay over there at third. 1-3 on the putout, 2 outs in second and third for Marian and Leo Lopez. He only saw 1 pitch his first time up because he grounded out to Lawson to start this game off, and the first pitch here of his second at-bat is called for a strike. 1-0 the Marian lead here in the top of the second inning. There's a ground ball to the third base side. It goes foul. And Lopez falls behind 0-2. Lopez batting .349 this year, 59 hits, 10 doubles, and a trifecta of home runs. He's driven in 30 runs this year. Riggins shakes off the first sign. Stands there still, and then time is called. First 3 men have reached base safely. The second and third men still stand at second and third base. The first one has already come home to score. And now Steve Albritton, the home plate umpire, has a couple instructions for Lopez, the shortstop, and the batter right here. 2-strike count to Lopez, the shortstop. And Riggins will deal one up high. Hustling back after a big lead at second is Vogel. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the shortstop, Leo Lopez. Former Frankfurt hot dog after graduating from Frankfurt High School. Ground ball to the left side. Couple hops, Lane Fields fires it over to Taggart. And after the first 3 men reached base safely, the damage limited to just 1. We head to the bottom of the second with Marian out front, 1-0. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marian General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
So Kyle Gould had an extended conversation with home plate umpire Steve Albritton. Now, Marian head coach Todd Bacon in his 5th season will have exchanged pleasantries with the man running the show behind the plate.
The catcher, Tanner Watson.
And Taylor will bat here in the bottom of the second, down by 1. The catcher, Tanner Watson, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Sam Weiss and Jared Atkins. The lefty, St. Pierre, will miss away from the righty Watson, 1-0. Second one to the outside part of the plate, 2-0. Tanner with the heroics in the top of the 12th on Saturday to put Taylor up 4-2 over Huntington. And if you're with us for the Marian General Hospital pregame show, 2-0, now 3-0. You heard that Watson's batting glove, the left batting glove, was torn. And he and his family have been good friends with Jody Martinez, the head women's basketball coach here at Taylor. So Mrs. Martinez got out the sewing kit and fixed that batting glove for Watson. So he'll walk on 4 pitches here to lead off the bottom of the second. And what Mrs. Martinez told Tanner's father was, tell him to go hit me a home run or something. And needless to say, he certainly did something on Saturday with his only hit being the one that counted. So Kyle Kelsheimer will come in a pinch run for him at first. Leadoff man on here for the Trojans as they try to even this game up, down 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Both teams have yet to lose here in the 2018 Crossroads League Tournament. Both will play tomorrow. The question is, are you going to play at 3 or play at 6 with a chance to win the title with one more win? St. Pierre's first offering misses again, and that's 5 pitches here in the second. All have been outside the zone. Sam 2 for 6 on Saturday against Huntington. 337 the average. Had been batting much better. Now it's 6 straight balls from St. Pierre to start this inning off. Tournament Sam 3 for 11. Let's make it 7 straight balls now. As Weiss goes ahead 3-0. St. Pierre really good there. Got a strikeout in the first and then got a double play 4-6-3 to end the Taylor threat. But he's thrown 7 straight balls to start this bottom of the second off. And that finally ends here as that one just gets inside the top part of the zone. Sam came in batting .455 to the tournament. As you mentioned, now 3 for 11. They check on Kelsheimer at first. Weiss the only man coming in with more than 10 at-bats. Average at .273 here in the tournament. He did have success against Marian as he now has the count evened up at 3-2 as St. Pierre's gone throwing back-to-back strikes. Sam 3 for 9 in the 3-game series with Marian. Kelsheimer pinch running for Watson. And back over to first as Kelsheimer steps back. Kyle 24 for 26 on stolen bases this season. After 3 straight balls, St. Pierre has made the count full, and now he'll walk the first 2 men here in the bottom of the second. So the tying run in scoring position and the go-ahead run at first. And that'll bring out Mark Elder, the 4th-year pitching coach here for the Knights. 10 pitches here in this bottom of the second. 8 have been outside the zone, and it's 2 walks. 3rd walk allowed by St. Pierre today. And that'll bring up last year's Crossroads League Player of the Year, Jared Atkins. Jared has found his power here in the last few weeks. He was 1 for 5 on Saturday. With a handful of home runs last week, he is now tied with Wyatt Whitman for team high honors with 7 long balls on the year. Jared close to getting that average above 300. He's at 293 here on the season. No hits yet for the Trojans. All 3 base runners have reached via walks. And the speedy Kelsheimer at second, and the speedster and Weiss is over at first. Jared in the tournament batting .375. He's gone 3 for 8 with a pair of home runs, both coming against Mount Vernon Nazarene in the first game of the tournament for the Trojans on Friday. Infield playing and anticipating a bunt from Atkins. He shows it, pops it into the air, and thankfully for the Trojans, it sails out of play far enough away before Bacon can make a play on it. We saw some bunting woes from a handful of teams on Saturday where guys would just get underneath those pitches and pop them up, and none of the men on would have a chance to advance. Bacon, a couple steps in at first. Earl back there, knowing he has to cover. They want to get the force out of Kelsheimer, who stands at second. Whole infield playing in, as St. Pierre with a lefty will deal out of the stretch. Safe lead for Kelsheimer at second. The pitch home, a swing and a miss here for Atkins, and he falls behind 0-2. The DH, Andrew Kennedy, waits on deck for TU. He had the solo home run on Saturday. Atkins bunted a foul ball his first time up, swung and missed at the second one. And Taylor down 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. The pitch. Curveball outside, pulled right back in there by Hickman, high and away, 1-2. Infield, Cody Earl at third, Leo Lopez at short. The big man, 6'6", Tyler Vogel at second, and Maverick Bacon. With a good-looking beard over there and the sunglasses, looking tough, he's over at first. And Evan Hickman is the man behind the plate. 4th one to Atkins, he stays alive, fouling it to the backstop. Jared, along with his teammate Nathan Taggart, named Honorable Mention All-Americans a year ago. Jared also named the Crossroads League Player of the Year after breaking the single-season mark for home runs and stolen bases for the Trojans as they rewrote the offensive record books back in 2017. Another 1-2 from St. Pierre. Atkins will lay off. And that one upstairs, 2-2, as that draws some disagreement from the Marian fans that are situated to our left. First 2 men have reached base via walks. It was Watson to lead it off. Kelsheimer pinch running for him at second. He dances over there. The 2-2 to the man at the plate, Atkins. And that'll freeze him on an inside curveball. First out here of the inning. After throwing 8 balls in his first 10 pitches, St. Pierre battles back here and gets Atkins out for the first out here in the second. Go-ahead runner still on here for TU. It'll bring up the DH, Andrew Kennedy. Pivoting off the mound is St. Pierre. Kelsheimer will walk back. Infield playing back into double play depth. Vogel steps in at second. And Kennedy will take the fastball to the outside corner for a called strike. Kennedy 1 for 4 on Saturday. A walk and a strikeout to go with that solo home run that put Taylor up 2-0. Then they came back to win 4-2 in 12. Second one, golfing. It bounces away from Hickman, not far enough for Kelsheimer and Weiss to try to advance. And Taylor in danger of not moving men over. They ran into this issue on Saturday against Huntington when they hit into those 4 double plays, 2 of which had been at first and second and only 1 out. And they're in the same situation here after the Atkins strikeout. They hit into 1 here again. Kennedy choking up. He trails 0-2 in the count. Kelsheimer sashaying off of second. The pitch home. Kennedy thought about it, but it was way too far outside the plate. And it's ball 1. Brett Lawson standing on deck. Tying run stands at second. The go-ahead run at first here for Taylor in the bottom of the second inning. The 1-2. Down the middle. Kennedy will foul it up down the right field line. Mike Underwood giving chase. And it will sail just over the right field, or the right fence on the side of the park. Kennedy batted just .250 against Marian this season. Only 2 Trojans batted above .300 against Knights pitching. A ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Kennedy. 2 men on, Taylor down by 1. Kennedy sits on a curveball and he'll lift this one to the parking lot to our right. Kelsheimer the man at second, Weiss over at first. Marian playing a double play depth, leading by 1. And St. Pierre will pivot off the mound again. Kelsheimer will get back into the vicinity, then re-extend his lead. Wind blowing out towards the right field foul pole. A ball and 2 strikes to Kennedy. And this one will sail out a play to the right once again. 3 straight foul balls with 2 strikes for the sophomore from Goshen. Good battle here with Kennedy and St. Pierre. Pitch number 7 of the at-bat upcoming as St. Pierre shakes off another sign. Now 2, and time is called. Dark gray caps and navy bills for the Marian Knights with a Navy MU on the front. Kelsheimer at second, Weiss at first. Taylor down 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Kennedy eagerly awaits the 1-2 again from St. Pierre, and here it comes. And this one will get popped up to the infield. Bacon at first shielding his eyes with his glove. Now removes the glove from his eyes, backpedaling and makes the catch on the first base line. Kennedy punches his fist into his open left hand. Out number 2, we'll see if Brett Lawson can move the men around here and keep the bottom of the second rolling.
Now batting third baseman Brett Lawson.
Brett, the 5'11 sophomore from Margate, Florida. He, like Josh Lane, graduates of Calvary Christian Academy down there in Fort Lauderdale. First pitch fastball just underneath down that swing, and it will sail to the parking lot. And the ooze down below means that it narrowly missed someone's automobile. Brett batting .340 this year, 53 hits, 9 doubles, and 3 home runs. Has gone deep once in this tournament, but that was wind-aided with 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards right field back on Friday against Mount Vernon Nazarene. He pops this one up, Bacon in foul territory over first. Now he's got to hustle to try to get to it, and he slides, and he won't be able to make the catch, and then his legs go sprawling up on the fence. He gets back up and is okay. Lost in the sun for a moment, then had to really hustle back to get to it. It one-hopped on the dirt up on that fence on the right side of the park, and then bounced out of play. So Lawson down 0-2. Does have a little bit of a sleeve on that left elbow to go with that protective plate on the elbow, which has been hit already once here in the tournament. He's down 0-2. He'll swing and miss, down on strike. So the Trojans get the first 2 men on here in the inning. Then the next 3 batters strike out, pop out, and strike out. And Taylor unable to even our score. We head to the top of the third with Marian out front, 1-0. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
We play 2 here from Winter Holder Field. The winner will play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, 1 win away from the 2018 Crossroads League Tournament Championship. The loser will play at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. They'll take on the winner of our last game tonight coming up around 8 o'clock. It'll be between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. 1-0 the Marian lead as they bat here in the top of the third. This one to the right side. Taggart will field. Riggins will come over to cover. Takes the underhand from Taggart. And there's one gone to start off the top of the third. Being retired is the pitcher, Zach St. Pierre. Both teams got the first 2 men on in the second inning. The difference was Marian got one more on, loaded him up, and brought the lead man home. The Trojans got 2 walks to lead off the bottom of the second. Then 2 strikeouts and a pop out near first base ended anything for TU offensively there in the second. Fastball missing away from the righty Earl, who's been the best batter here in the Crossroads League tournament coming into the day. He walked his first time up, but came into the day batting .700, going 7 for 10 in the first two games for Marian this season. He's ahead 2-0 here, standing almost perfectly straight up and down on the box. In the box, excuse me. And again, Riggins will miss to the outside corner. It's 3-0 to Earl. Walked on a full count his first time up, then got stranded there back in the first. Fourth one from Riggins, belt high down the middle for strike one. One out in the top of the third. Nobody on for Cody Earl. His team, Marian, leads the Trojans 1-0. Curveball called for strike 2, and Earl will have to go pick up his bat after he discarded it, and he is not happy. Big hole in the back of Earl's pants have not hurt his play here so far today. And the payoff pitch from Riggins. He'll lash it one off the end of the bat, and that one will sail foul as Earl's got to protect. Riggins quickly ready. Here comes the 3-2 again. Swing and a miss, and Earl, ooh, he is really mad. And now he's thrown out of the game by our home plate umpire, Steve Albritton. So the best batter in the Crossroads League tournament has been tossed here with now 2 outs in the top of the third. He was unhappy with that second strike call, and then he was really frustrated, almost threw his bat into the artificial surface. And then home plate umpire Steve Albritton, with one swift move of that right hand, tosses the third baseman Cody Earl. So there's a long discussion going on right now with home plate umpire Steve Albritton and Marian head coach Todd Bacon. The best batter in the Crossroads League tournament has just been ejected. 2 outs. He must have said something, but now, like was just mentioned up here, he'll be suspended for tomorrow's game, whether it's at 3 o'clock or 6. So 2 outs. The best batting average in the Crossroads League tournament has now been excused from the future festivities. And now some of the Marian fans starting to heckle our home plate umpire, Steve Albritton. Our tournament director is down there with the third baseman, Cody Earl, and he is still upset as he stands here outside of Winterholder Field. We set our sights back on the action on the field, and the catcher, Evan Hickman, takes a curveball inside for a called strike. As Hickman lined out softly to Colby at second. Count evens up 1-1. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the third. If you're just joining us, Cody Earl has been tossed after complaining to our home plate umpire, Steve Albritton, after being set down on strikes. And now Hickman trails 1-2 as that one sails out of play, foul to the left. Caleb Myers, a sophomore from Lebanon, warming up on the sidewalk behind the dugout for Marian on the left side of the field. 1-2 lifted it a mile in the air. Colby there. Taggart will run away. Foul territory. Tanner Colby reaches back and he makes a catch in foul ground. So a 1-2-3 inning. And Cody Earl has been ejected here for Marian. We'll see who will come into play third base for the Knights when we come back from this commercial break. The Knights lead 1-0 through 2.5. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojans Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student-athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student athletes.
So Adam Shooter's the new third baseman, number 6, here for Marian. Shooter, a sophomore from Indianapolis, a graduate of North Central High School. Free plug, that's my high school. So he comes in to replace Cody Earl, who was tossed after arguing aggressively with our home plate umpire, Steve Albritton, after being called out on strikes. He was unhappy on what he thought was ball 4 to make the count 3-2. And then was just upset when he swung and missed it one up high, then almost spiked that bat into the artificial surface. And he's been the best bat here in the Crossroads League tournament, batting 7 for 10 coming in. So Tanner Colby, the lefty second baseman, will lead it off for the Trojans here in the bottom of the third as they try to even our score at 1 run apiece. Colby, the rookie out of Ellettsville, Indiana. And the second one. Looks like it missed to make it 1-1. Colby then back to the top of the order, and Whitman and Lane. That one inside half, and a strike 2. And then the ball barely gets back to the mound with Hickman, throwing it back to St. Pierre. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tanner Colby. One ball, 2 strikes to Colby as he leads off the bottom of the third. Taylor down by 1 to Marian. And St. Pierre will miss away with a fastball to even it up at 2-2. Colby batting .281, 25 hits and 4 doubles. He'll foul this one off. As we mentioned, Whitman waits on deck. Lane will be behind him. Packed house here in the bleachers down below, here at Winterholder Field. Colby the lead off here in the bottom of the third. 2-2 from the lefty, St. Pierre to the outside corner. That freezes Colby. Wasn't happy about it, but he quickly retreats to the dugout. And there's a third strikeout of the day for St. Pierre. That's 4 men retired here for St. Pierre, 3 via the strikeout. And that was all after he walked the first 2 batters, and Control just looked miserable to start off the bottom of the second. He has found it here, retiring the last 4 in a row. Whitman trying to change that with an opening swing, but it'll go foul. St. Pierre, no hits, no runs, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. His time on the hill today, 2 1/3 innings so far. A strike to Whitman, curveball taken to the outside corner, and Wyatt down 0-2. He struck out swinging his first time up on a 3-2 pitch. He's down 0-2 here. 1 out, no one on. Fastball low and away. And the righty Whitman gains a ball in the count. Wyatt 6 feet tall. Out of Climax Mission, a graduate of Gull Lake High School. He's a junior. Just off the end of the bat. Foul, staying alive. A curveball again there from St. Pierre. That's what gave Whitman the trouble on Saturday against Huntington's DJ Moore. Wyatt batting .327 to start the day. 13 hits. Tied for the team best in triples with 3 and team best in home runs with 7. Another 1-2 from the lefty St. Pierre. And Whitman will sky this one over our heads. And it sails out of play. And now Wyatt will walk up the third baseline and talk things over with Taylor head coach Kyle Gould. A ball and 2 strikes, the count to Whitman. Nobody on, one out. Taylor down by one as they bat here in the bottom of the third inning. The winner will be one win away from a Crossroads League tournament championship. That game will be played at 6 o'clock tomorrow. The loser of this contest will play tomorrow at 3 p.m. to try to get to that 6 o'clock title game. The pitch from St. Pierre. Inside half. Nicely done again from St. Pierre. He's retired 5 in a row. Now 4 via the strikeout during that stretch. And 2 outs for Taylor in the bottom of the third. And Josh Lane stepping in. So St. Pierre's retired 5 straight, 4 via the strikeout. He has 5 Ks here on the afternoon so far. Fastball, Lane goes after, and this one will be caught in the trees as it sails out of play. Lane reached on a walk, his only time up so far today. As he tries to get on here in the bottom of the third and extend it. Pops this one up again, and that one will sail over our heads once again. After those back-to-back walks to start off the bottom of the second, St. Pierre has been locked in. He retired the last 5 in a row. And remember, this is just his 6th appearance on the mound this year, his 3rd start here of 2018. He's been mainly playing in the outfield. 0-2, Lane leans out of the way, and that one will miss upstairs to make it 1-2. No hits so far for the Trojans. They've gotten 3 base runners via 3 walks. The 1-2 again from St. Pierre. Off the end of the bat, a late swing from Lane, and he stays alive. Lane trying to get on here. 2 outs, no one on. Bottom of the third. Taylor down by a single run. Inside pitch, and that one high again from St. Pierre. As both Lane and Whitman like to crowd that inside part of the plate. The righties trying to get on here. Back-to-back looking strikeouts for St. Pierre here in this bottom of the third. And the count even at 2-2 to Lane. Pitch right back up the middle, and that one will be the first hit of the day for TU as Lane motors his way down to first. So that one on the ground, right back up the middle. 2-out single for Lane, tying run over at first for Nathan Taggart. And a protective glove being brought in, and pad for Josh Lane over there at first from head athletic trainer Casey Hackman. Remember, Lane slid into third on Saturday against Huntington on the wild throw from DJ Moore. First one to Taggart. He'll swing and miss mightily for a strike. Lane advanced all the way to third, but then got his hand caught up on that. His left hand caught up as he tried to swim move his way over there at third. That's why he's got the protective cover velcroed on his left hand over at first. A strike to Taggart, and now it's 0-2 as Taggart will miss one low. Taggart 0 for 2, hitting to a 4-6-3 double play to end things here in the bottom of the third. Tying run over at first, they'll check on him. Lane 21 for 24 on stolen bases this season. He is one of 4 Trojans with at least 21 steals here in 2018. 2 strikes to Taggart, runner goes, high, throw down, that's going to be way off, and it goes a careen off the face of Vogel, not far enough to let Lane try to go over to third, but the tying run in scoring position now, and it's 1-2 to Taggart. So Taggart 0 for 1, takes the double, or takes the force out at second away for TU. St. Pierre with 5 strikeouts already here on the day, got the first 2 out via the strikeout, and there's a healthy lead for Lane over there at second. 1-2 to Taggart, lifts this one up high in the sky, chasing back is Leo Lopez. He camps underneath, and the tying run will be stranded at second base. We've played 3 here from Winter-Holder Field, and Marian leads Taylor 1-0. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
When it comes to watching sports, there's no telling what you'll hear.
No.
But when a fan orders Pizza Hut for the game, they know exactly what they're getting.
Oh, nice.
Pizza, wings, as well as sides and desserts are all available at pizzahut.com or at their location in Gas City. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
3 innings in the books here from Winter Holder Field. Maverick Bacon, the first baseman for Marian, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Carson Davis and Tyler Vogel. Bacon has scored our only run of the day so far. He came around on the fielding error after Tanner Colby bobbled it to start off the top of the second. He leads off the top of the fourth, fouling it off the inside part of his leg. Bacon 6'3", 225 pounds. He was 3 for 4 in the win over St. Francis on Saturday, and he is still down there on a knee. That one, he's got the protective padding on the inside part of that lead right leg, but still trying to feel it out there as Taylor head athletic trainer Casey Hackman walks out with a perfectly placed white bucket hat with a cloudless sky overhead, trying to protect the head. Gray shoe, gray quarter zip look for Hackman this afternoon, looking very professional, very clean. So Bacon reached on the air. As we mentioned, Bacon 3 for 4 with a double. 2 runs batted in, a run scored, and a walk as he takes a walk up the first base line. Bacon batting .379 on the year, second best batting average for the Knights entering the contest. Most hits at 64 on the year, 10 doubles, and a pair of home runs to go along with 25 runs batted in. And so Bacon will reposition that protective pad, still limping considerably a little bit as he walks into that right side batter's box. A strike to the lefty Bacon against the right-handed throwing Riggins. Second pitch, curveball up high, and it's 1-1. Gray pants on Riggins, pulled up to his knees, showing off the purple socks. The third one. Breaking ball missing away from the big lefty Bacon. It's 2-1. And just like Riggins normally does, he's ready to rock and roll. The 2-1. And Bacon will line it to the Turner Stadium surface to our left. 2-2. Turner Stadium, of course, where today our on-site producer TJ Swore calls home during the fall. As always, number 6 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts for TJ. 2-2. Inside pitch below the knees, and now after fouling off the first one, Bacon has worked the count full. He leads off the top of the fourth, his team up by a single run. That came back when Bacon scored back in the second inning. Payoff pitch from Riggins. Ground ball right side. That one will get inside first base and roll up the right field line. Atkins hustling after it. Bacon setting his sights on second. And he'll leg it out, stand it up with a leadoff double here. And will bend over at the waist and try to catch his breath and pounds both fists into the artificial surface. And now still a little bit slow to get back up after screaming excitement over to the dugout to our left where his teammates sit, stand, and cheer. First extra base hit of the day for either side. A pair of singles for Marian coming back in the second. So good to see Bacon get back to his feet after found that first one off considerably on the inside part of his leg. And that'll bring up Carson Davis, 6'3" junior. Single to left his first time up. And Bacon stands at second. Marian out front 1-0 here at the top of the fourth. Riggins looks at Bacon as he deals out of the stretch. This one lined into left, and Whitman will catch it. Bacon will be waved in. One hop, and then Bacon says, oh, the ball popped right out of Watson's glove, and Bacon overran the base. He dives back in. Watson thought he scored in cleanly, went to go pick it up. Standing at second is Carson Davis. And that ball is caught cleanly by Watson. Bacon's out by a considerable amount of time. He still is limping considerably, looks just absolutely dead tired as he pounds fist bumps with his Marian teammates as they come out of the dugout. But the Knights have taken a 2-0 lead here in the top of the fourth as Bacon able to leg that one out from second after Watson had to go between his legs, just bobbled the one hop from Whitman there on a rifle throw from left. So a 2-0 lead here for Marian. Nobody out and a runner standing at second base here at the top of the fourth. Riggins out of the stretch, and the righty fires a fastball belt high for a called strike. That brings up the 6'6" second baseman Tyler Vogel. He singled to the infield his first time up today. Davis takes a good lead at second. Riggins shakes off the first pitch and the second, and now he's ready to go. Second one to Vogel, standing with an open right-handed batting stance, and he fouls it to the backstop, 0-2. So an error on Tanner Watson allows Bacon to score. And it's 2 strikes here to Vogel. Runner at second and nobody out. Riggins a couple looks at second, drives home the 0-2, and there's his first strikeout of the day as Vogel, down on 3 pitches, swings and misses at one upstairs.
Now batting right fielder Mike Underwood.
So the runner at second is Carson Davis. He brought Bacon around from second after his leadoff double. Then Watson bobbled it behind the plate. 2-0 the Marian lead for Mike Underwood. Before this inning, as the first one off speed at the knees away from the lefty, Underwood is called for a strike. He had the only run-producing hit driving in Bacon with the bases full on a ground out in the second. We're standing here at the top of the fourth, and Marian has increased their lead to 2-0. Man at second, Riggins looks at him now twice. And the 0-1 home. Inside half again, curveball makes it 0-2 to Mike Underwood. And remember, Bacon overslid at home, didn't touch home plate. Riggins behind there couldn't communicate that with Watson as he's trying to find the ball. And as Bacon leapt back on to the plate to put Marian up 2-0. Time called here at the plate from the lefty Underwood. He steps out and steps back in. Adjusts that navy blue and white batting helmet, puts his white batting gloves on his bat behind his head. Davis again the man at second, the 0-2. Ground ball up the middle. Lane will charge. Behind second, over to first. Picked by Taggart. So move Davis over to third. 2 outs here for the Knights in the top of the fourth. They've increased their lead to 2-0.
Now batting center fielder Henry Fisher.
So take that error away from Watson. Just 1 error for the Trojans here on the day so far. 4 hits for Marian, 2 runs. The Trojans just 1 hit coming back in the bottom of the third. Marian with a man standing at third. That's Carson Davis. Fastball 2 inside. To the righty, Henry Fisher, who's playing center field here today for MU. They're in blue and white, Taylor in all gray. Second one from Riggins. Chop to the left. And it's pulled foul. Fisher, a 6'3" junior from Fowler, Indiana. 1 for 3 with 3 runs scored, 2 walks, and a stolen base in the win over St. Francis on Saturday. Riggins out of the stretch, 1-1, and now he goes ahead 1-2, a nasty little curveball that Fisher couldn't sit back on. Next pitch will be the 60th one for Clay Riggins, as Rob Fox stands along with Austin Medica in the Taylor bullpen. The 1-2, curveball, that one just a little bit upstairs, and the count squares at 2 apiece. Trevor Booth and Justin Pettit down there in the Taylor pen, and then Riggins will miss inside. He'll hit Henry Fisher in the back, and with 2 outs and a 2-2 count, Fisher will jog down to first. The lineup turns over. Back to the shortstop, Leo Lopez.
Now batting shortstop Leo Lopez.
Riggins trying to limit the damage to just 1 here as he faces Leo Lopez for the 3rd time. Watson steps out from behind the plate. Will send in the defensive signal to the Taylor infield. It's Davis standing at third, and Fisher now at first after getting hit by the pitch in the back. The man at the plate, Leo Lopez, who's 0 for 2 here on the afternoon. Riggins sends one over to first, and diving back is Fisher. Fisher 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts, or 5 for 5 on stolen base attempts this season, excuse me. First one from Riggins, and they'll say he goes around for a strike. And that draws disagreement. from some fans down below. Lopez 0 for 2 today. Disagreement still pouring in from the bleachers down below us here in the press box. Curveball, ducking out of the way is Lopez. And the count squares 1-1. And for the first time today, we'll see Taylor pitching coach Devin Wilburn here in his 3rd season at TU, making his way out to talk things over with the starter Clay Riggins. 2 hits here in the inning for the Knights. They lead now 2-0, both runs being scored by Maverick Bacon, their first baseman. Lopez 0 for 2 here this afternoon. Both on ground out to the left side of the infield. Grounded out to Lawson on the first pitch of the game, then grounded out to Lane to end the second. Just 1 hit for TU here so far. They've drawn 3 walks, but have also struck out 5 times against Zach St. Pierre. And now Justin Pettit gets back up and starts warming up for the Trojans. We saw Justin back on Friday against Mount Vernon Nazarene. Have not seen him since, but going through the paces right now. A ball and a strike to Lopez as the mound meeting ends. Runners are the corners here for the Knights. Runner goes down to second, and Lopez will foul it off. And the dashing Fisher will have to go back to first base. Davis tried to dance off of third to draw the eye of Riggins. He stood there still as a statue on the mound. And the junior shortstop, Leo Lopez, will step back in. Toes right on the line on that left side batter's box. 1-2 curveball. Lined but pulled foul. That at the left side of the park. Two 2-0 our score. Marian batting here in the top of the 4th. They have that 2-0 margin. On the back of 4 hits. A walk and hit batsman. Finally gotten their men on today, and also by 1 Taylor error. Another 1-2. Runner heads down to second. Curveball inside, and Watson will let him take second. 2-2 the count to Lopez. Now 2 men in scoring position with Fisher standing at second base. Davis still holding pat over there at third. Riggins set out of the stretch. Kicks and drives. This one lined, and this will score at least 1 as it finds a left center field gap. 1 run already in. It rolls all the way to the warning track. Lopez will go in at second, coasting, and Marian has built their lead to 4-0 here on the 2 RBI double from Leo Lopez here with 2 outs. And that'll be the end of the line for Clay Riggins as they'll bring in Justin Pettit as we see Kyle Gould make his way to the mound. We'll come back and introduce you to Justin Pettit when we come back from this commercial break. Marian up 2-0, or 4-0, excuse me, with 3 runs home here in the 4th. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, 1 in the Dome and 1 in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. So the starter, Clay Riggins, goes 3 2/3 innings, excuse me. He's allowed 3 hits here in the inning so far. 3 runs have come home. They've all been earned. On the day, he's given up 4 runs, 3 earned. 5 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and a hit by pitch. Riggins sadly not with his best stuff here today, so they bring in Justin Pettit, 6'3" sophomore right-hander from North Vernon, Indiana. And Riggins is responsible for Lopez, who stands there at second after the 2 RBI double. Second extra base hit of the inning here for Marian, as Bacon led the inning off with a double after fouling one off on the inside part of his leg. Then he later came around to score on the single from Davis after the ball on the throw slipped between the legs of Watson. Intentional walk here for St. Pierre, so he'll jog down to first. And Taylor wants to get at the new bat, and Adam Shooter, who replaced the third baseman Cody Earl after he was ejected after striking out, swinging in the third, and then having a few choice words that our home plate umpire Steve Albritton did not find too nice. First and second, 2 outs for Adam Shooter, 5'10" sophomore, as we mentioned, out of Indianapolis. Pettit always deals out of the stretch. He'll do so again here, and that one behind the back of Shooter. He dodges out of the way for a ball. Some of his friends down there in the stands telling him to take it in the back. That was a hard fastball coming from Pettit, and now our home plate umpire Steve Albritton has given a warning to the Marian dugout. A ball to Shooter, 2 men on, and now Pettit will miss up high, 2-0. Tucker Waddup's now starting to warm up for Taylor in the bullpen. He's one of the starters for the Trojans, but he might need to come in here in relief today for TU. Top of the 4th, 3 runs in here for Marian. They've increased their lead to 4-0. 2-0 to Shooter, low, covered up by Watson, and now the count 3-0. And Pettit in danger of walking the bases full here in this top half of the 4th inning. And that'll bring Devin Wilburn out of the Taylor dugout to our right. Shooter 2 for 14 on the year, playing in just his 20th game for Marian. A 143 average, 2 bases total on the season. Has been hit by a pitch once and struck out 5 times. And now Marian head coach Todd Bacon will walk down the third base line. I think he's trying to get an explanation of why the warning was issued to his dugout to our left. First and second here for Marian. Lopez at second after the 2 RBI double to give Marian this 4-0 lead, and then the intentional walk to the pitcher Zach St. Pierre. Man at the plate, third baseman Adam Shooter. His first at-bat of the day, taking over for Cody Earl, who was ejected back in the 3rd. And the mound meeting will be broken up as Wilburn, third-year pitching coach, will walk back to the Taylor dugout. 5 hits for the Knights, 3 here in this 4th inning. The winner of this game will play it tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and 1 win away from a Crossroads League tournament championship as Marian tries to get back to the national stage for a 2nd year in a row after finishing runner-up to the tournament champs and regular season champs Huntington here on this field back in 2017. 3-0 to Shooter, down the middle, and Pettit will fire it in there for a called strike. 3-1, 2 outs, men at first and second. Here for Marian, they're ahead 4-0. Pettit out of the stretch. Inside half, taken for strike 2. Full count with 2 men on here in the 4th. Pettit gets the sign from Watson. Sets and drives it home. And then Shooter will foul this one away to stay alive. He's the 8th batter here of the 4th inning for Marian. 3 men have come home after the first 2 men reached base safely on a double and a single. This will be pitch number 7 to Shooter. 3-2 the count, 2 men on, 2 outs, top of the 4th. Pettit delivers. That one above, and he's walked the bases full on the first batter he's faced here, the second batter he's faced here in the inning. So the base is full for the 9th batter of the inning, the catcher Evan Hickman. Hickman 0 for 2 today, has been retired both times, sending it Tanner Colby's way at second. 3 runs already home here for Marian. They lead 4-0. And Pettit's curveball high and away for a ball. Hickman lined out softly to Colby at second to end the first inning. Then he popped out in foul territory to Colby back in the third. Standing straight up there on the right side batter's box. And the second one, outside half for a called strike. 1-1 the count, bases full for Hickman. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Pettit's ready. Third one on its way home. And Hickman will be in front of that one, fouling it up the right field or the first base line. 1-2 the count now. The starter, Clay Riggins, responsible for Lopez over there at third. St. Pierre and Shooter. Those tied Pettit, who's on the mound right now. Justin ahead 1-2 against the Marian catcher, Evan Hickman, a lefty. And the 1-2 from the righty Pettit. Curveball that Hickman watches sail in high to even it up at 2 apiece. Nowhere to put Hickman. 2 outs in the top of the 4th for Marian. 3 runs already home. And Hickman will swing and miss. Watson picks it up and tags out Hickman to leave the bases full. But 3 runs come home here for Marian in the top of the 4th. The Trojans will try to answer here in the home half of this 4th inning. They'll bring up Watson, Weiss, and Atkins, trailing 4-0. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Taylor trying to answer the 3 runs that Marian put up on the board here in the top of the 4th. It'll be Watson, Weiss, and Atkins, 4, 5, and 6, due up for the home team. Tanner walked his first time up as Taylor put 2 men on with nobody out there in the second, trailing by just 1. They bat here now down by 4. Zach St. Pierre still on the mound. Now he misses away again, 2-0. He walked Watson on 4 pitches there to start that second inning off. He threw 10 pitches to start that inning off. 4 or 8 of those were outside the zone for those 2 walks. And that one into the zone makes it 2-1. Watson 1 for 4, his only hit on Saturday, the game-winning knock in the top of the 4th to put Taylor up 4-2. This one he's underneath and sent foul to the right, evens it up at 2 apiece. Tanner batting .355 this season. He, along with Whitman, coming into today, the only men with over 200 at-bats this year. Second on the team with 71 hits is Tanner. 13 doubles. He lays off one, and that one will freeze him on the outside corner. Watson thought it was going to be ball 3. Instead, It'll be Zach St. Pierre's 6th strikeout here of the day as he is putting on his best performance of the year. Third strikeout looking for St. Pierre.
Now batting center fielder is Sam Weiss.
And that brings up Weiss, who, like Watson, walked back to start off the bottom of the second. And the first one to the outside corner for a called strike. Just one hit for Taylor today, coming from Josh Lane with 2 outs on one back up the middle, back an inning ago in the third. St. Pierre's curveball misses high. It's 1-1. Crowd continues to grow here down below us. It's a dead week here at Taylor University. Finals start next Monday. So some free time on the hands for the Taylor students. Weiss ahead 2-1. And that one off the inside part of the bat. It goes up and foul to the right. So Weiss down 2-2, or evens up at 2-2, I should say. Action still continuing with Tucker Wattops in the Taylor pen. No one up for the Knights. 2-2. Inside at the knees, called for strike 3. Back-to-back looking strikeouts here for Zach St. Pierre. His 7th strikeout of the day. It keeps our score at 4-0 here with now 2 outs for TU in the bottom of the 4th. We'll see if Jared Atkins can change the Trojans' luck here at the plate.
Now batting right fielder Jared Atkins.
Atkins, one of the strikeout victims for St. Pierre earlier today. Swings and goes around on one on the outside corner. Jared 1 for 5 against Huntington on Saturday with a walk and a strikeout. Second one from St. Pierre. And he gets Atkins to pop it up, but it will sail behind the backstop and land on the sidewalk. Two strikes to the right fielder, Atkins. Nobody on, 2 outs. And Taylor down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 0-2. And Atkins will foul another one off. Still 0-2. Andrew Kennedy, the DH, waits on deck. If Atkins can reach base safely, he's down 0-2. And he'll line the Swan to deep left field. Going back is Carson Davis. He's underneath, and he makes the catch. And Taylor retired in order here to end the 4th. 4-0 the Marian lead. We head to the 5th after this commercial break. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965 when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Third pitcher in for the Trojans today will be Tucker Wattups, making his first appearance here at the Crossroads League tournament, and just his second appearance out of the bullpen this season. He's made 12 previous starts, 13 previous appearances. Comes in with a 5-4 overall record, a 3.91 ERA. He's a 6'4", 25-pound sophomore right-hander out of Logansport, Indiana. He transferred into Taylor after spending his freshman season down at Anderson University. He'll face Bacon, Davis, and Vogel to start off the top of the fifth, and Bacon will swing and miss for strike one. Bacon has reached base safely twice today. He has scored 2 of the 4 runs for Marian, reached on a fielding error in the second, then doubled down the right field line back in the fourth. And now he's down 0-2 to the hard-throwing Wattups. We weren't sure when we'd see Tucker during this Crossroads League tournament. Has been seeing his time up in the rotation, kind of shifting depending on really when games get played throughout this crazy spring weather year. Third one high and inside to the lefty Bacon as he tries to reach base safely for the third time here tonight. 1-2, pops up to the right side. Taggart, first baseman, jogging in foul territory, and Bacon's retired for the first time tonight. 1 out to start off the top of the fifth for Marian, up 4-0.
How about left fielder Carson Davis?
Davis now batting. Carson, left fielder, gets a little scouting report from Bacon. Still showing a favorable limp as he walks back to the dugout to our left, after he fouled off that pitch on the first one to start off his at-bat an inning ago. Davis, the only Marianite with multiple hits so far this evening. He has 2 of their 5. Both have been singles and both have been to left field. This one sent to our right, and it goes foul. A single by Davis put 2 men on to start off that second inning. Marian would eventually load the bases on the first 3 batters of the inning. And now he goes around and is upset with himself as he tried to check that swing, almost pivoted all the way around. And now Davis falls behind 0-2. Wattups in replacing Pettit, who faced 2 men, would make it 3 men back there in the fourth. Had 2 walks and a strikeout after Marian had scored 3 in that inning against the starter Clay Riggins. The 0-2. Fastball up high, good eye from Davis, the left fielder. Davis scored Bacon back in the fourth to put Marian up 2-0. They're ahead 4-0 right now. And a 1-2 swing and a miss on the curveball, nicely thrown from Wattups, his first strikeout. And there are 2 outs for Marian here in the top half of the fifth. Stepping in will be Tyler Vogel. Vogel, the former high school teammate of Justin Pettit, who pitched in the last inning, both from North Vernon, Indiana, both from Jennings County High School. Vogel, the freshman, and Pettit, obviously, a sophomore. Ball and a fastball. And Vogel 1 for 2 today. And now he's 1-1 on the count as he swings and misses at another fastball from Wattups. Single to the infield in the second. Struck out swinging back in the fourth. Vogel's 2 times up tonight. Waggles that red-orange bat behind his head. And foul tips it into the glove of Watson. Makes the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. No one on, 2 outs, top of the fifth. Wattups in his first inning of work trying to get a desperately needed 1-2-3 inning as Taylor trails by 4 here against Marian. The pitch. And that one lined off to the right. Vogel batting .298 coming into the day. 34 hits, 5 doubles, and a home run. He's driven in 20 runs on the season. Another 1-2 from Wattups. Curveball. Ooh, Vogel thought about it. And the whole infield along with Wattups walking off and trying to walk into the dugout. Watson will get an explanation from Steve Albritton behind the plate. And the count squares 2-2. And now some more fans disagree with some calls down below. 2-2. Swing and a miss. 3 outs, 3 up, 3 down. 2 back-to-back strikeouts here for Wattups. And we'll see if Taylor can get on the board here. They're down 4-0. Halfway home here from Winterholder Field. Bottom third of the order coming up in Kennedy, Lawson, and Colby. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook Butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. Season high in strikeouts right now for Zach St. Pierre at 7. He had 8 last year against Goshen. He had 6 against Goshen this season. His longest outing is 6 1/3. He's already thrown 4 here, and he throws a strike to Kennedy to start this at-bat off. Kennedy, Lawson, and Colby. Taylor down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Lawson and Colby to follow, as we mentioned. Then St. Pierre, the lefty, will bounce one in here to even up at 1-1. Kennedy 0 for 1 tonight, popping out to Bacon over at first. Off speed, high and away. 2-1 in Kennedy's favor. Kennedy 4 for 8 coming into the day in the Crossroads League tournament with 3 home runs. This one sent to left field. Second hit of the afternoon for TU. One of the rare times today that they've been able to get the leadoff man on. Just the second time all evening. And with Taylor down 4-0, they need as many base runners here as soon as possible. And a good start here for Kennedy, singling to left. We'll see if Brett Lawson can follow that up here as they bat in the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting third baseman Brett Lawson.
Third baseman Brett Lawson batting now. This one right to the shortstop, Lopez. They've turned 1 double play tonight, and now they'll make it 2 on a 6-4-3 this time. The Trojans into 4 double plays against Huntington on Saturday. That prevented them from building their 2-0 lead on Saturday, and this double play keeps them off the board here, down 4-0 now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
Second baseman Tanner Colby.
And Colby will take the first strike here from St. Pierre. Colby struck out looking, his only time up tonight. That was back in the 3rd. 2 outs, no one on here after the 6-4-3 double play. And an off-speed pitch from St. Pierre will find the outside corner, and the lefty Colby now trails 0-2. His team down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 5th, and that one up high. Colby ducks, it's 1-2. Fourth one from the lefty St. Pierre. The lefty Colby will foul it off the end of the bat to the left. 4 runs on 5 hits for Marian here tonight. The Trojans no runs on 2 hits. Both have been singles. 1-2 to Colby. He'll foul another one away to the left. And the 1-2 from St. Pierre again. Fastball high and away now. 3-2 to Colby. Or make it 2-2, excuse me. St. Pierre delivers. And Colby down on a curveball. 8th strikeout here for St. Pierre. That ties the 8 he had a year ago against Goshen. We've played 5 here from Winter Holder Field. The Trojan bats having a struggle trying to figure out St. Pierre here on the mound. We head to the top of the 6th. With Marian leading Taylor 4-0. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marian General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center. which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
We played 5 here from Windsor Holder Field. Mike Underwood, Henry Fisher, then back to the top will go and Leo Lopez will be batting here for Marian as they lead 4-0 here over the Trojans. 1 back in the second, 3 back in the fourth as Tucker Wattups starts his second full inning of work. Off the end of the bat, left side, Whitman comes charging in. He'll hit the brakes, coasting underneath. And it's a 1-pitch fly out to start things off here in the top of the fifth for Marian.
Center fielder Henry Fisher.
So Underwood now 0 for 3 today. He did drive in the first run of the night for Marian on a ground out with the bases full back in the second inning. And that brings up Henry Fisher, who's 0 for 1 this evening and has scored 1 run. Wattups' fastball, that one looked to be a little bit outside, but it just nicks the outside corner. Hence 1 strike to Fisher, the center fielder. Was hit by a pitch, came around to score in the fourth. He'll send this one deep down the left field line, but it lands 10 feet left in foul territory. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out in the top of the 6th. The Marian leading Taylor 4-0. They took 2 out of the 3 regular season games against the Trojans back at their home field down in Indianapolis. And just 2 hits for the TU Bats here tonight, who came in as one of the top offenses in the country. Wattups' curveball will land in short. And it's the first ball for Fisher in the at-bat. Came around to score on the man on deck, Leo Lopez's double. Back in the fourth, the 1-2. And fastball in the dirt again, now 2-2. Wattups retired the men in order back in the fifth. 2-2. Another curveball down on strikes. His 3rd strikeout since coming in an inning ago, and there are 2 outs for Marian here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting shortstop Leo Lopez.
4-0 the Marian lead as they bat here with 2 outs and no men on in this top half of the 6th. Wattups out of the stretch, or out of the windup, excuse me. And the changeup makes it 1-2, or 1-0, excuse me. Second one. Fastball this time, a pop-up high in the air. Whitman there in the left, he has to take a couple of steps. Waits for that thing to come down from the clouds, and it lands in Wyatt Whitman's glove. So Tucker Wattups has seen 6 batters. He's retired 6 batters. The Trojan Bats need to get going here as we head to the home half of the 6th inning. They're down 4-0. They'll bring up the top of the order, Whitman, Lane, and Taggart. This is Taylor Baseball in the Crossroads League Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Top of the order coming up here for the Trojans. They've into 2 double plays today. That's now 6 in the last 2 games. They're down 4-0 here as Whitman will lead it off. He'll miss it one low, and it's a strike to start his at-bat off. Whitman 0 for 5 on Saturday. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight with 6 strikeouts in his last 7 at-bats. And that one a ball and a half off the plate, but it's still called for strike 2. Whitman, Lane, and Taggart. Taylor down 4-0, home half of the 6th, and that curveball left up high for a ball. Whitman batted 2 for 10 against Marian pitching this year. This one down the right field line, and it will land at the bottom of the fence and foul. So that was 2 for 10 during the regular season. St. Pierre did not pitch against the Trojans. As we mentioned, it's just his 3rd start of the year, his 6th appearance overall. He had not pitched in a couple of weeks. He's been mainly their right fielder, which is where he's been in the whole tournament so far until tonight, but he has been spectacular. No runs and 2 hits given up. 1-2, this one lined up to the top part of the net. And still a ball and 2 strikes. Whitman leading off the bottom of the 6th, the 1-2. Checks it there, and that one barely misses, being strike 3. Lane waits on deck. The man to follow him will be Nathan Taggart. Trojans down 4-0 here, home half of the 6th. Whitman right back up the middle, and that ends his 0 for 7 streak. 2 strikeouts to start this game off, but Whitman singles up the middle. And for the 2nd inning in a row, the Trojans have gotten the leadoff man on. Just the 3rd hit of the day for TU. All have been singles. And one of those 3 hits belong to the man about to bat in Josh Lane, the Taylor shortstop. He singled with 2 outs back in the 3rd. And we'll see how aggressive TU wants to be here with Whitman, just their 3rd base runner, or 6th base runner of the night. Lane off the end of the bat. That will sail out of play to the right. St. Pierre nearing 100 pitches, and that will start activity up in the Marian bullpen to our left. A strike to Lane. He's reached safely both times. He's been to the plate tonight. 2nd one. Inside on the hands. He leans out of the way. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Lane walked back in the 1st. He singled, as we mentioned, in the 3rd. Wyatt Whitman has led this inning off with a single up the middle. 1-1 to Lane. Inside, that one bounces away from Hickman, but not far enough to allow Whitman to try to advance to 2nd. It puts Lane ahead 2-1. Lane 2 for 5 in the win over Huntington on Saturday. The 2-1. Below the knees. Let's make it 3-1. That was the 100th pitch of the night for Zach St. Pierre. Lane 0 for 5 against Marian pitching in the regular season, and he walks for the 2nd time tonight as he tries to get his teammates going as he jogs up to 1st. That'll bring out the pitching coach, Mark Elder, here for Marian. A single for Whitman, a walk to Lane have put 2 men on. Taylor down by 4 as they bat with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th for the ever-dangerous Nathan Taggart. Fourth walk allowed by St. Pierre tonight. But he does have those 8 strikeouts, tying the 8 he had against Goshen a year ago. His career-long time on the mound is 6 1/3. He's worked 5 here so far, but the first 2 men have reached base safely. And Taggart, with 1 swing of the bat, which he is very capable of, could draw TU back to within 1. 7 base runners all night for TU, 3 via hits, 4 via walks. They've got 1 on from a hit, that's Whitman at 2nd, and 1 on a walk from Lane. He gets the protective cover on his left hand after having it dinged up against Huntington on Saturday. And now Taggart will step in, who's 0 for 2 on the evening. First one from St. Pierre, fought off, popped into the air left field side. It will fall into the glove of the center fielder Henry Fisher as they handcuff Taggart on an inside pitch. He's 0 for 3 tonight. And the runners remain at 1st and 2nd for Tanner Watson. TU in the same situation back in the 2nd. First 2 men reached base safely. That was on walks. Then St. Pierre retired the next 3 in order 2 via the strikeout. And he's got 1 out on the board here, with men still at first and second, and Tanner Watson, the man at the plate. The first one from St. Pierre, knees outside corner for strike 1. A walk for Watson. He struck out looking his last time up. That was in the 4th. He bats here in the 6th with 1 out. Whitman, the junior, at second. Lane, a junior, at first. Off speed away from St. Pierre to even it up at 1-1. Chase Dow warming up right now for Marian in the bullpen. Freshman right-hander out of Crawfordsville. A ball and a strike to Watson with 2 men on, 1 out. And Watson will foul this one off the glove of Hickman, the catcher. Makes it a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Sam Weiss waiting on deck for TU. Tanner 0 for 1 tonight. And this one sent towards center field. Going back is Henry Fisher. Comes all the way to the right center field gap. He almost runs into his teammate Mike Underwood. They'll try to get Whitman out at third. He'll advance. Lane will move over to second, sliding in before the tag. So a deep fly out from Watson. Second out here in the bottom of the 6th for TU, but the Trojans have put their first man at third base here tonight. And for one of the rare times tonight, just the second time all night, they have a man at second as well. Or third, excuse me.
Center fielder Sam Weiss.
2 outs, a minute second and third for the center fielder Sam Weiss. Taylor needs one of these guys to come home on base in the worst way possible right now. Down 4 in the bottom of the 6th. And St. Pierre low and away for a ball. Weiss 0 for 1 today. Walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Just like Watson did. Now St. Pierre will miss high and away, 2-1. Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan here. They'll play our final game of the day coming up at 8 o'clock. Winner will take on the loser of this game tomorrow at 3 p.m. Big lead for Lane at second. No one holding him on with 2 outs. The 2-0 curveball will loop into the outside corner. 2-1 the count as St. Pierre approaches 110 pitches thrown. The next one will be 110. Second and third, 2 outs. Taylor down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. 4th one from St. Pierre. Weiss off the end of the bat, and that evens it up at 2 apiece as that one fouled to the parking lot. Taylor in danger of duplicating what happened back in the 2nd inning. When they got the first 2 men on, the next 3 men retired in order. 2-2 from St. Pierre to Weiss, and it was down again on strikes. Second strikeout for Weiss tonight, the 9th one of the evening for St. Pierre. And for the second time tonight, the Trojans have gotten the first 2 men on. They've been unable to do anything with it as the next 3 men sat down in order. We've played 6 here from Winter Holder Field. It's all Marian right now in this one. They're up 4-0 over TU. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student athletes.
The pitcher, Zach St. Pierre, who's been spectacular tonight on the mound, will lead things off for Marian in the top of the 7th. He'll be followed by Adam Shooter and Evan Hickman. Marian up 4-0. The winner of this game advances to the first championship game tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And more importantly, 1 win away from a Crossroads League tournament championship. Waddup's in for his third inning of work. He's seen 6 batters, he's retired 6 batters, and he bullets in a fastball to the lefty St. Pierre to lead this inning off. St. Pierre 0 for 2 today with an intentional walk his last time up. He was the first batter that reliever Justin Pettit faced. That came in the 4th. Change up. And it's fouled away, 0-2 to St. Pierre. St. Pierre, 6'1" senior, we mentioned out of Noblesville, Indiana. 2 for 5 with a double and 3 runs batted in on Saturday. 0 for 2 tonight so far. He stays alive, fouling off an 0-2 to the left. St. Pierre no batting gloves as he waggles the bat behind his head. Another 0-2 and a changeup away for a ball. Officially announced today, Taylor will host one of the 9 opening round sites of the national tournament starting next Monday. 1-2. Change up again high. Make it the fastball this time, makes it 2-2. 5 hits on the evening here for Marian. 2 have gone for extra bases. Both have been doubles. And St. Pierre leads off the top of the 7th. After falling behind 0-2, he's worked the count even. That one will miss high, makes the count full. Full count to St. Pierre as he leads off the top of the 7th. His team up 4-0. And that's a walk. Start off 0-2. And St. Pierre jogs down to first after the payoff pitch misses the zone. So bring up the third baseman, Adam Shooter, for the second time here tonight. Marian up 4-0 with the leadoff man on here to start off the top of the 7th. Shooter replacing the ejected Cody Earl after he struck out in the 3rd. Shooter batted once already tonight. He squares up a bunt here up the first base side. Taggart will field. He'll tag him out as he runs outside of the base path. Sacrifice bunt will move St. Pierre over to second.
Now batting the catcher, Evan Hickman.
1 out, runner in scoring position once again for Marian. They come in 22-24 on the year. They've won both of their games so far here in the Crossroads League tournament. Came in as the 5th seed. They defeated St. Francis, the 8th seed, on Saturday. They defeated Spring Arbor in the first game back on Friday. Safe lead for St. Pierre at second. And the catcher, Evan Hickman, will get underneath this one and foul it out to the left. Hickman 0 for 3 tonight. 2 sent Colby's way at second, 1 on a strikeout. Five hits for Marian, just 3 for TU, and the Knights lead 4-0 here in the top of the 7th. Second one up high, 1-1. Hickman lined out softly to Colby at second in the 1st. Popped out and foul ground again to Colby in the 3rd. He struck out swinging against Pettit to end the 4th. Watson comes out behind the plate, talks things over with Waddups. Tanner Watson presented with the Gates Howard Award earlier today during the Honors Chapel here on the Taylor University campus. Gates Howard Award goes to the top senior athlete starting this season. Cassidy Wise took home the Natalie Steele Award. That's the award on the women's side. Encompasses everything: academic achievement, athletic achievement, community involvement as well. Change up, outside 1-2 to Hickman. 1 out, St. Pierre stands at second after a walk and then advanced on the sacrifice bunt from Shooter. 4-0 the lead for Marian. They try to get to the championship game tomorrow at 6 p.m. Waddups, the right-hander, out of the stretch. Drives home a 1-2. And grounded to the right side, there is Taggart's. He'll hustle over to first, step on the bag. And there's out number 2. It does move St. Pierre over to third, however.
Now batting first baseman, Maverick Bacon.
2 outs, a man at third for Marian. They're up 4-0 here in the 7th with 2 outs. And stepping in for the 4th time today, a guy that has scored 2 of their runs here so far, the first baseman, Maverick Bacon. This one lifted towards Atkins in right. He's underneath, and it's out number 3. So leadoff walk for St. Pierre does no damage. We get the stretch, and Taylor tried to wake up the bats here after we stretch out. It'll be Atkins, Kennedy, and Lawson coming up with Taylor down 4-0. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
When it comes to watching sports, there's no telling what you'll hear.
No, 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 no.
But when a fan orders Pizza Hut for the game, they know exactly what they're getting.
Oh, nice.
Pizza, wings, as well as sides and desserts are all available at pizzahut.com or at their location in Gas City. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Six and a half innings in the books here from Winterholder Field. 6, 7, and 8 coming up for TU as Zach St. Pierre will continue to deal here for Marian, and he has been nothing short of spectacular here tonight. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, and 9 strikeouts. This one sent up the left of the third base side, right to the third baseman Shooter. A low throw picked by Bacon at first, and that retires Atkins to start off here at the bottom of the 7th. So the 6 and the 3rd ties the career-long outing for Zach St. Pierre, the senior out of Noblesville, Indiana. 9 strikeouts, 1 more than the 8 he had a year ago against Goshen. And Kennedy goes after the first one and hits it foul off the end of the bat. Second one to Kennedy. He'll swing and miss at one on the outside part of the plate. That puts him down 0-2. With 1 out and no one on here in the bottom of the 7th, Taylor trailing by 4. St. Pierre making just his 6th appearance overall. Bouncer left side, right to Shooter at third. Across to Bacon. Higher throw this time. Bacon makes the catch easily. And there are quickly 2 outs on a pair of groundouts to Shooter at third here for Taylor in the bottom of the 7th. So the longest career outing going on right now for the right-hander Zach St. Pierre at 6 2/3. And nobody on for Brett Lawson, the third baseman, with Taylor down 4-0. Just 3 hits tonight for TU. One of the best offenses in the country. Then St. Pierre loses his footing on the mound and slips. It's a ball to Lawson. St. Pierre pops right back up. It looks to be okay. Taylor had 9 hits for their 4 runs on Saturday against Huntington. 1-0. Up the third base side, and that one will sneak in. Lawson looking over that left shoulder. He'll calmly round first. His first hit of the night makes him 1 for 3. And Taylor desperately needs a 2-out rally here. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. And no runs up on the board for TU, trailing by 4.
Pinch hitting for Taylor, number 2, Christian McGill.
So Christian McGill will pinch hit for Tanner Colby, who's 0 for 2 on the night with 2 looking strikeouts. And Colby will swing and miss at one upstairs to lead off the at-bat. McGill 0 for 1 in a pinch hit opportunity against Huntington on Saturday. Second one from St. Pierre out of the stretch. Up high to make it 1-1. McGill, a guy that's slated to slide into the starting outfield a year from now with both Atkins and Weiss graduating. With McGill only a sophomore, Whitman a junior, he'll come back and continue to man left field. Third one to McGill, bounces in, covered up by the catcher Hickman. 2-1 to McGill. Christian batting .302 on the year with 13 hits. A pair of doubles and 3 triples. Off speed to the outside half. Evens it up at 2-2. Lawson stands at first after his 2-out single. 4th hit of the night for the Trojans, but they still trail by 4. St. Pierre right in the middle of the rubber out of the stretch. 2-2 up high, and the count full to the pinch hitter, Christian McGill. McGill, the sophomore from Cicero, Indiana, trying to turn the lineup over to Wyatt Whitman up at the top. 3-2 the count. St. Pierre delivers. And that one is low to walk McGill down to first. A single from Lawson with 2 outs, a 2-out walk to McGill. Have put 2 men on here for Wyatt Whitman. In the bottom of the 7th, the Taylor still trailing by 4.
Now batting left fielder Wyatt Whitman.
5th walk allowed by St. Pierre tonight. And Wyatt singled his last time up. Curveball, looping into the outside half for a called strike. Whitman with 2 strikeouts. Had gone 0 for 7 in his last 7 at-bats dating back to Saturday against Huntington before that single up the middle to lead off the 6th. Second one. That one below the knees, 1-1. Twice tonight the Trojans have put the first 2 men on. The next 3 men sat down in order. 2 on here with 2 outs for Whitman. 4-0 the Marian lead, bottom of the 7th. And that one comes inside, and that one misses low again. 2-1. And Dowell gets back up again and starts warming up for Marian in the pen. He sat down to start the inning. He's back up, getting some tosses in. 2-1 to Whitman. Wisely lays off one in the opposite batter's box. And it's 3 balls and a strike to Wyatt Whitman. 2 men on, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. And Taylor down 4-0, needing a run here in the worst way possible. Out of the stretch. And that one taken up high by Whitman, masterfully done. And now the base is full. That one ever so close to the strike zone. And this might be the end of the line here for St. Pierre as he kicks some dirt angrily here on the mound here in the center of Winterholder Field. Marian head coach Todd Bacon comes in. St. Pierre knows what's going to happen. He's ready to stomp off into the dugout, handing the ball to Bacon, but he'll walk him back in as Dow will come in. They exchange handshakes, and we'll introduce you to the new pitcher here for Marian. 6 2/3 the night here for Zach St. Pierre, but the base is now fully tips his cap and waves his glove to the Marian faithful, but still angry as his teammates come out to congratulate him on an expert evening. No runs allowed so far, 4 hits, and a career-high 9 strikeouts on his longest outing of his career, and just the 6th time he's been on the mound this year. We'll introduce you to the new Marian pitcher when we come back. Base is full, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Taylor down by 4. This is Taylor Baseball on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University Campus Store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The Campus Store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the Campus Center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. Bases full and 2 outs. Back-to-back ground outs to Shooter at third, started the inning off. A single up just inside third base, put Lawson on. He now stands at third. Walks for McGill, the pinch hitter, and Whitman to put them at second and first. And Josh Lane will face Chase Dowell here in the bottom of the 7th, and Taylor down 4-0. And the first one will miss away from the righty Lane for a ball. Perfect guy tonight for Taylor to be up. He's had the most success tonight. 2 walks and a single, the only guy that has not been retired so far this evening. Dowell, the right-hander, out of the stretch. Second one. In the zone to make it 1-1. Dowell 6 feet tall, freshman right-hander, 185 pounds out of Crawfordsville. Appearing in his 13th game overall, a 3-2 overall record, and a 6.07 ERA. Third one to Lane. Inside pitch, off speed, and it makes it 1-2 in favor of the pitcher Dowell. Taylor has stranded 5 men tonight on the bases into 2 double plays. They have not been able to get the clutch hits here this evening. And Lane down 1-2 with the bases full here. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, and Taylor down 4-0. Dowell delivers off the end of the bat, right side. Coming in is Vogel. He'll underhand to second. And that ends the Trojan threat here in the 7th. We've played 7 innings, and Marian still leads Taylor 4-0 as the Trojans now have stranded 8 base runners here tonight. We head to the 8th after this commercial break. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965 when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
McGill.
2 defensive switches here for TU. As we start the top half of the 8th. Marian up 4-0. Christian McGill stays in. He plays left field in place of Wyatt Whitman. And Cody Tate will come into play second base for Tanner Colby. Start of the 4th inning on the hill here for Tucker Wattups. He's allowed just 1 man to reach his 3 innings of work. And a big swing and a miss there from the left fielder Carson Davis. Starts the top of the 8th off. Vogel and Underwood will follow Davis here for Marian. 5 hits, 2 doubles, 4 runs for the Knights here so far tonight. Taylor just 4 hits and no runs to show for it. And now Wattups will step off the mound. Get the sign again from Watson behind the plate. One more game here tonight. It'll be between Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington. That winner will take on the loser of this game tomorrow at 3. Popped up by Davis. Watson sprinting after it, but he'll just sail over the Taylor dugout out of play. Davis Knight 2 for 3. He's the only Knight with multiple hits. Also drove in a run as well. Scored back in the 4th. Second time through the order here for Wattups. He struck out Davis the first time. These two squared off back in the 5th. Davis trailing 0-2 here as he leads off the top of the 8th. His team up 4-0, trying to get back to the Crossroads League Tournament Championship game for a 2nd year in a row. Open stands for the righty Davis. Wattups delivers. A changeup that's sent a mile in the air towards McGill and left. Started back, he comes in. McGill calls off Lane. The new left fielder for Taylor makes the catch. 1 gone.
batting second baseman Tyler Vogel.
One out, no one on for the second baseman, Tyler Vogel. And winds up his fastball low and away for a ball. We mentioned the big crowd on hand. We look down, we see former Taylor catcher Rhett Goodmiller down there, catching a little action here at his alma mater tonight. On the ground right side, it bounces underneath Taggart at first, rolls into right field. And with one out, there's a man on here for Marian and Tyler Vogel. Second time he's reached base safely here tonight. That's a fielding error against Taggart at first. Second error tonight by the Trojans.
Now batting right fielder Mike Underwood.
Just a second batter to reach base safely against Waddups tonight. As the right fielder Mike Underwood will step in. Fastball from Waddups away in the zone for a strike. Underwood 0 for 3 this evening. Flew out to Whitman and left back in the 6th. There's the 2 ground outs to Lane at short, his first 2 times up. Half swing he goes around on. And now it's 0-2. 1 out, runner at first, top of the 8th, and Marian leading Taylor 4-0. After a gem of a performance from Zach St. Pierre on the mound tonight, making just his 6th appearance of the year and his 3rd start here in 2018. Change up, just missing the outside corner to the lefty Underwood. And the count now a ball and 2 strikes. Henry Fisher, the center fielder, waits on deck for the Knights. As Waddups deals a 1-2 out of the stretch. Popped up softly, left side. There's Lawson at third. He makes the easy catch for out number 2. And there'll be a pinch hitter coming up here for Marian, replacing Henry Fisher. It'll be number 17, Bailey Adams, a 6'1", 235-pound sophomore out of Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Pinch hitting number 17, Bailey Adams.
Adams batting .230 this year. 26 hits and 113 at-bats, 7 doubles and 1 home run. He's driven in 15 runs here this season for Marian. Bats to replace Henry Fisher, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Was also hit by a pitch, was the center fielder Fisher. Runner at first, Waddups comes inside with an off-speed pitch for ball 1. It's Vogel standing over there at third after the misplayed grounder by Taggart at first. 2 outs here in the 8th. And the second one in there for a strike. 4-0 the Marian lead. They scored 1 in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th. And that has been it for the scoring here so far as they bat with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Change up left side, and that one's pulled foul. Makes it 1-2 to the pinch hitter Bailey Adams. Adams replacing the center fielder Henry Fisher. He's got the 6'6" Tyler Vogel standing over there at first base. 5 hits on the night for the Knights. 2 extra base hits, both have been doubles. 1-2 to Adams. Waddups out of the stretch, a swing and a miss. His 4th strikeout here on the evening. Another 0 put up on the board. The Trojans trying to change that as they come up to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. Heart of the order up, Taggart, Watson, and Weiss. They're down by 4 with innings dwindling here in the 2018 Crossroads League Tournament final winners bracket game. This is Taylor Baseball on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marian General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise, At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Part of the order up here for TU as Chase Dow will start his first full inning of work. He got out of a bases loaded spot with 2 outs an inning ago. It still remains a 4-0 lead here for Marian. And a breaking ball to Taggart will find its way in there for a strike. Cody Turpin now coming into play right field, replacing the starter Mike Underwood. Henry Fisher has re-entered and plays center field after being pinch hit for the last half inning. Taggart to the left center field gap, and there for a single to lead this inning off. Third time in the last 4 innings Taylor has put the leadoff man on. They have been unable to push any runs across here so far tonight. It's the 5th hit of the evening for TU. First one that Dowell has allowed. All have been singles here for the home side. The winner of this game remains undefeated and will move on to tomorrow night's 6 o'clock championship game. The loser plays at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Breaking ball to the outside half for a called strike to Watson. Tanner 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. His first time up. Has been retired his last 2 times at the dish. Taggart a safe lead at first. And the second one bounces in, covered up by Hickman. And Taggart, not known for his base stealing prowess, will jog back to first. Nathan is 1 for 1 on stolen bases this year, however. And then Watson fooled on another breaking ball low and away from him, and he falls behind 1-2. 4-0 the Marian lead, each team with 5 hits here so far in the evening. But Taylor with 2 errors, 1 came around to cost them back in the second. Back to the breaking ball again. This time Dow will miss off the plate, as Watson wouldn't swing this time, and the count squares at 2 apiece. Taggart at first after the leadoff single. Taylor needs runs. Runs plural here. The bottom of the 8th, down 4. Watson down the left field line, carrying, but it will land in foul ground. Watson struck out in the 4th, flew out to right center field back in the 6th. He's got Taggart standing at first after the leadoff single. 2-2 again from Dowell. Inside, it pops out of the glove of Hickman. And the inside pitch makes the count full. Full count to Watson, the second batter here of the inning. The first one stands over at first in the form of Nathan Taggart. Payoff pitch from Dowell. And Watson fights it off on the inside part of the bat. And it remains full. Watson, a Gold Glove Award winner for his play out in right field 2 years ago in 2016. The year before that, an All-Crossroads League selection, newcomer of the year as well. He's been an All-Crossroads League selection all 3 years. Previous to this one, he's been at Taylor. Payoff pitch again from Dowell. And Watson right back up the middle, but caught by the second baseman Vogel. And darting back in time will be Taggart to avoid the Trojans' 3rd double play they would have hit into here tonight. 1 gone for TU here in the bottom of the 8th. So Weiss has switched bats here in his 2nd time in a row, using the one that Watson has used at the plate. Sam 0 for 2 tonight with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Taggart remains at first. And Dowell missed low and away for ball 1. Dowell replacing the starter, Zach St. Pierre, who was spectacular tonight. 6 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, 6 walks, a career high 9 strikeouts. But then Dowell will drop in a curveball to even it up at 1-1 to Weiss. Third one to Weiss. Soft grounder left side. Lopez at short. Over to second. Trying to turn 2 again. and they will for the third time tonight. A 6-4-3 double play. The Trojans are now hitting to 7 double plays in their last 2 games. We played 8 innings here from Winterholder Field. Marian on top, 4-0. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojans Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Top of the order to start off the top of the 9th here for Marian. Leo Lopez, the DH, Zach St. Pierre, and then Adam Shooter, the third baseman. Marian out front 4-0. They scored their last batch of runs with 3 in the top of the 4th. They have yet to score since. Each team with 5 hits, 2 for extra bases here for Marian on a pair of doubles. And Waddups' changeup will miss inside for a ball. Waddups 4 innings. A walk, no hits, and 1 other batter reached safely on an error, and there's the first hit that Waddups has given up today. Lopez with the second hit of the night. He's 2 for 5. Leads off the top of the 9th with a single through the left side of the infield. Into the DH, Zach St. Pierre. Step in. He's 0 for 2, reaching base safely his last 2 times up. But has done his damage tonight against Taylor on the mound. 4 hits, no runs, squares up a bunt, right back to Waddups on the mound, Fields to first. 1-3 on the putout. Sacrifice will move Lopez over to second, 1 gone here in the 9th.
Now batting third baseman Adam Shooter.
So a runner back in scoring position here for Marian and the third baseman Adam Shooter. No official at-bats for Shooter tonight. Has been to the plate twice, however. Lopez, the leadoff man, stands at second after the sacrifice. This one back up the middle. Lane covers ground beautifully. Quickly out of the mitt over to first. And there's the second out as it moves Lopez over to third.
Now batting the catcher, Evan Hickman.
2 outs. The Lopez leadoff single has now put him over at third for the catcher, Evan Hickman, who's in search of his first hit here this evening. Off speed low for a ball. A ground out to first base for Hickman. The first time he faced Waddups here tonight, that was back in the 7th. Second one and finds the zone to make it 1-1. 4-0 the Marian lead here in the top of the 4th. They took 2 out of 3 against Taylor. A couple of those being 1-inning affairs where the Knights came back to win. Third one, excuse me. Upstairs in the attic makes it 2-1. Hickman two plays out at second, strikeout, and then the ground out to Taggart at first. His 4 times at the plate today. 2-1 from Waddups. Change up again, and it's 2-2. 2 outs, runner at third here in the top of the 9th. Waddups with that string dangling off the outside part of his glove. 2-2 on its way home. He gets Hickman to pop it up. Here comes Weiss in from center. Lane there. Weiss calls everybody off. And the Trojans now know how many runs they need here in the bottom of the 9th. It is 4 to force extra innings, 5 to win it. Taylor has been able to put 1 runner on third base today. They'll bring up Atkins, Kennedy, and Lawson as we set our sights to the bottom of the 9th. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student-athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student-athletes.
Bottom of the 9th, Atkins, Kennedy, and Lawson, the 3 coming up for TU, 6, 7, and 8. As they trail 4-0 here in the bottom of the 9th. And Chase Dow starting his 2nd inning of work after coming in when the base is full, 2 outs to replace the starter St. Pierre in the 7th. Right at the outside corner in the letters for a called strike. Atkins 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout, a fly out to left, and a ground out. Taylor just 5 hits on the evening. All have been singles, and they have 6 walks. And Dowell comes back inside with the off-speed pitch. Now it's 0-2. Taylor will look back at 3 innings tonight if they end up losing this game. Had the first 2 men on in the 2nd, first 2 men on in the 6th, and then loaded them up in the 7th. Unable to do anything with it. In those 2nd and 6th innings, after the first 2 men reached base safely, the next 3 were sent down in order. And the breaking ball from Dowell bouncing away in the opposite batter's box to make it 1-2. Slightly open stance there for Atkins. White bat behind that purple batting helmet. Dowell delivers. And that one below the knees, outside half to even it up at 2-2. And now Atkins will step out before the 2-2 comes home. Here's a 2-2 from Dowell. Atkins will fight it off. Right field line, just foul by a foot or 2. That lands in fair. Atkins easily gets into second with his good speed. I said he'll step back in and get the bat from the man behind Kennedy, Brett Lawson. 4-0 the Marian lead. 2-2 the count to Atkins as he leads off the bottom of the 9th. 5 hits on the evening for TU, 6 for MU. 2-2 again to Atkins from Dowell. Sits on a curveball, popping it up. Coming in is Fisher from center. And there's one gone for Taylor here in the bottom of the 9th. Batting will be the DH, Andrew Kennedy. Andrew with one of those 5 Taylor hits this evening, a single back in the 5th. First one from Dowell. Well in front of that one was Kennedy on the breaking ball. Kennedy's popped out to third, propped up to first, and grounded out to third. Along with that single, his 3 other times up. A fastball misses again. Now it's 0-2. Taylor bats have been unable to figure out first St. Pierre and now Dowell here this evening. They've been to 3 double plays here tonight, now 7 in the last 2 games. And that one bounces in. Kennedy watches it make the count 1-2. After this one, both of these teams will be done for the day. One more game tonight between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. The winner of that game will play the loser of this game tomorrow at 3. The winner of this game will be off until tomorrow night at 6 p.m. when they'll take on the winner of that game at 3 p.m. Coverage will continue here on the Trojan Sports Network tonight and into tomorrow. Kennedy awaits the 1-2 from Dowell. Nobody on, 1 out. And that one will miss away, bouncing in short, 2-2. Brett Lawson waits on deck. McGill will follow him if he is needed. 2-2 to Kennedy, 1 out, nobody on. Dowell delivers, and he fools Kennedy for another time. First strikeout of the night for Dowell. And Taylor down to their last man standing. It's Brett Lawson here in the bottom of the 9th.
Third baseman Brett Lawson.
Lawson, the second to last man to get a hit for TU. That came back in the 7th. It's his only hit of the night here so far. And the first one will miss away for a ball. St. Pierre spectacular tonight, a career-high 6 2/3 innings. Career-high 9 strikeouts, no runs allowed, and 4 hits. Dowell in his place now. And then Lawson will sit on one and sky this one to deep left field. Davis is underneath. And he makes the catch, and that will end this one. So Marian defeats Taylor tonight by a final of 4-0. Take their 3rd game against Taylor here in 2018 and move on to tomorrow night's championship game at 6 o'clock. The Trojans will play tomorrow at 3. We'll come back and wrap this one up on the Ivanhoe's postgame show. After this commercial break, this is Taylor Baseball and the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marian General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Welcome back here to the Ivanhoe's post-game show here at Winter Holder Field. The Trojans fall tonight to Marian by a final of 4-0. The Knights collected 6 hits, no errors. They stranded 9. The Trojans just 5 hits, none for extra bases, 2 errors, and they stranded 8. For Marian, they got on the board the first time in the second inning. Maverick Bacon led that inning off. After a fielding error by Tanner Colby at second, he was driven around on an RBI ground out after the bases were full by Mike Underwood. The last of our scoring came in the 4th when Marian put up 3 runs on the board. They had a leadoff double from Maverick Bacon after he really fouled one off hard on the inside part of his leg. A single a batter later from Carson Davis scored him. Later in the inning, Leo Lopez had a 2 RBI double to put Marian up 4-0, and that's all Zach St. Pierre would need. He moves to 2-0 on the year, making just his 3rd start of the year, his 6th appearance overall. He goes a career-high 6 2/3 innings. He allows 4 hits, no runs. He walked 6 and struck out a career-high 9 batters tonight over that career-high 6 2/3 to move to 2-0 on the year. Chase Dow picks up his first save of the year, going 2 1/3 innings. 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 1. Taking the loss tonight for the Trojans, the junior right-hander Clay Riggins. It's his first loss of the year, moving him to 7-1. He went 3 2/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He walked 1, hit 1, and struck out 2. The Trojans will look back here as they hit into 3 different double plays. They now hit into 7 double plays here, dating back to their game with Huntington on Saturday. As we bring in the head coach of the Trojans, Kyle Gould, to talk with us here on the Ivanhoe's post-game show. And Kyle, 3 double plays here tonight. What made St. Pierre so dominant against your guys' bats?
Well, he just moved the ball in and out of the zone. For whatever reason, that made us a little less aggressive. He'd miss up, then drop in, then miss out, and he just kind of effectively wild. I know he put some guys on. He's an incredibly competitive kid. So, 9 strikeouts, 6 walks, and we had guys on. We just couldn't get the hit with guys on base, and wasn't just that. I'm not sure we hit more than like 3 or 4 balls hard today. So it was probably the worst offensive performance we've had this year. So credit to him, and we got to figure something out for tomorrow.
In the 2nd and the 6th, you get the first 2 men on with nobody out, and the next 3 set down in order. You got a little bit of you got a 2-out rally there in the 7th to load them up, but then Dowell comes in to replace St. Pierre. Mm-hmm. How do you try to change your fortune tomorrow against either Huntington or Indiana Wesleyan coming up at 3 p.m. tomorrow?
Well, they both will have good pitchers going tomorrow. The way this tournament is gone with that Sunday off day, I mean, I was kind of threw off this morning, so they would have one of their top guys tomorrow, and Huntington, imagine, would bring their Friday guy back. They were able to get him out early, so it's good for us. We'll face another good arm. I mean, we need to. That's the kind of pitching we'd see. So I was just disappointed in how, just how ineffective we were on offense. And and Marian was aggressive and kind of jumped on Clay. Tucker was a real bright spot. He came in with 5 innings and just allows the 1 hit. And we needed it. We just needed him to keep us in the game. I felt like if we could stay at 4, we had a shot, and we did. We had chances. So he was a real bright spot to see Tuck throw like that. Was good. It just wasn't enough on offense today, and even defensively, that play at the plate, we didn't handle that one real well. We made a couple errors, and just we just got to play a lot better to be a team like Marian, which is good. It doesn't matter what their conference finishes. I think they have I think anyone would tell you that's a really good team, and they made a good tournament run last year, made it to the national tournament and played really well out there, and you can see they're playing well. So we'll have to be at a really, really high level tomorrow. So.
Kyle, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Rick.
As head coach Kyle Gould joining us here on the Ivanhoe's post-game show. Taylor Falls for the first time here in this Crossroads League tournament. They now sit at 43-13 on the year, and they will play tomorrow at 3 o'clock against the winner of our final game tonight between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. The Trojans have already played Huntington once. They defeated them in that extra inning game on Saturday. They have not played Indiana Wesleyan yet here in the tournament. They fell 0-3 to the Wildcats during the regular season as Indiana Wesleyan won our regular season title. Special thanks to our on-site producer, TJ Swore, for all of his hard work tonight. We will talk to you tomorrow before the Trojans take on the winner of our final game tonight between Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. This has been a presentation of Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. Good night from Upland, Indiana.